Why not use our economic power? Is this an example of where we can affect change? Not just when it comes to North Koreans, but also in terms of them stealing our intellectual property. Well, here with me on set is someone who knows the president very well, his first press secretary, Mr. Sean Spicer.
How are you?
Good to see you. I am good. I am good. Thanks for dropping by.
You bet.
So in just a short while, the president is going to be signing these tariffs. And you've got a lot of very nervous people, including the likes of the Koch brothers right now, that are concerned about an impending trade war. What's your take on it?
Well, prior to working for the president, I was the assistant U.S. trade representative for the last few years of the Bush White House. So I've kind of seen some of these things play out before. We went after China for the first time with an intellectual property case under the Bush administration. We had the unintended effect of not getting U.S. movies played in China for 6+ months under cultural reasons. So one of the things that we have to keep in mind when we talk about tariffs, non-tariff barriers, is that other countries, not just China, are going to react to these. And that's why you're seeing 100+ members of Congress, other industry leaders come and talk to the president about this. All that being said, this is an issue that is in the president's gut. He has talked about trade. He has talked about China for going on decades. That being said, he's also a master negotiator. I have faith that he has a master plan at stake right now, because we've got to be careful. As much as we need to use our might to take on China, we've got to make sure that we do it in a way that's targeted and smart and doesn't isolate our other trading partners and also doesn't have an adverse effect on our manufacturing base here in the United States.
But you think about where we are in terms of international relations and our ability to influence other countries, and I would think we would have a huge ability to influence them economically, Sean. So is this an opportunity for us to be doing exactly that? Because, you know, other presidents have not taken this opportunity.
Well, I mean, Bush did. He did steel tariffs, and we had to undo them. The WTO came back to the World Trade Organization and allowed countries to retaliate against us. You looked at the list that the European Union put out the other day. It's 4 pages long of areas in our economy where they will hit back, from makeup to alcohol to motorcycles to other apparel. They are not going to take this sitting down. If we want to go after China, I get it. We need to understand they're stealing our intellectual property rights. They're flooding the market on steel. We've got labor issues with them. Then we need to think really smart about how we do it. Because if we go after China and we have the unintended effect of harming our allies and harming our manufacturing base in the U.S., then that's problematic. I know and I believe that the president's always got a master plan at hand.
So is he thinking, you know, is he playing chess here? I mean, is he thinking 5 steps ahead?
I've got to believe he is. He understands.
You hope he is.
Well, I know, but he understands business. He comes at this office uniquely so because he understands negotiating and business. And I've got to believe that he knows where he's going on this. And you've already started to see some of that rhetoric that he had at the cabinet meeting today, where he said we can be targeted, they can go up, they can go down. I think he's trying to bring everyone to the table and figure out how we can do this. But I am concerned with what you're seeing the European Union and others talk about as retaliatory means.
Well, I mean, perhaps they feel like their back's up against the wall a little bit, and they have to also exercise some of that rhetoric.
Well, but the mechanism by which the president's using this, the 301, is intended for national and economic security reasons. And I think for a lot of our allies to say we're going to deal with the effects of something that we have been a good economic and national security partner to you, why are you using this venue as opposed to solving or using the World Trade Organization, something that you and we all belong to solve the dispute?
Somehow I just can't see the president going through the WTO and having
I can't either.
Deal with the bureaucracy of that.
I can't, and that's his point, is that he's not going to do this through those means. He's made it very clear through the campaign. He was very, very critical of the WTO, so I understand that. And that's why I'm saying, to your point, I hope there's a bigger game of chess at stake.
You know, I look at some of these trade deals, and we had an expert on just yesterday explaining that, you know, Mexico has quotas of how much they'll take of U.S. goods. We don't have those quotas.
That's right.
So we're like, okay, bring it on in, and we like it because it's cheap, and, you know, our consumers benefit from it. That said, if they're putting quotas on us, how's that fair?
It's not, and again, there's a question of fairness, and you're right. It's not just the non-tariff, the quotas. It's tariff and non-tariff barriers where we have extremely low tariffs and a lot of countries have high. But we've negotiated those. Whether or not there's a bad deal, and the president in particular has been extremely critical of some of our trade deals and some of our trade practices, and rightly so. But when we have an agreement with a country where we've negotiated and put the full faith and credit of the United States behind an agreement, if countries don't believe that when we negotiate those that they will stand from one administration to the next, you can't say just because the previous administration or 5 administrations ago made a bad deal that the next administration won't uphold that. We've got to make sure that we do these in a way so as much as you may not like the World Trade Organization, that is the forum in which we've agreed to settle those disputes. I agree with the president's goal. He gets this. He's trying to fight for American workers and American companies because in the past we've gotten screwed. Well, we'll take a tariff barrier down to 2.5% and allow another country to maintain a 15, 20, 30% tariff barrier for our products going into their market. That's not fair.
We shouldn't have to live with that.
You're right. And we should renegotiate those.
Okay. Well, it looks like that is going to happen.
I think he's going to bring a lot of people to the table and end up with a really good deal. I mean, that's what I believe his master plan's got to be.
Hey, Sean, thanks for coming
Thank you, Bet.
Appreciate it. All right.